guys, welcome to my channel. I hope you all are doing amazing, and yeah, let's get ready with me and yeah, do a little bit of an intro about myself, because I actually noticed that I have new followers. So welcome to my channel, and I hope you do enjoy my content, even though I don't really upload regularly, but I do upload when I can or when I'm opportune to do that. So right now I'm actually in my bedroom, where I have like my makeup section and also my perfume section. So yeah, I actually did work from home because I will be switching jobs, and this is like my last week, and I chose to just take it easy and enjoy the last days before I start this new position. And it is actually amazing because I'm switching roles. I once worked with the government, and now I'm switching into the private sector, so that's a good thing. And yeah, it's going to be amazing. However, I thought that I would just start a quick makeup, get ready with me, and then I just tell you a bit about myself, because I feel like most people don't really know me. And even my therapist says this, that I should trust people more, and let people know about me. But I actually keep to myself a lot, but I guess the time has to change when it comes to that. So we start off first with putting on my earrings, because I love having earrings on. Literally, if I miss having a earring, I need to get me a new one. So I will start first. I already moisturized my face, as you can see. So normally what I always do is that I don't usually use primers, because I feel like primers are not really, my skin is not adaptable to actually using primers. So I actually don't use primers. The only thing I just go for is a setting spray, and then that's after like doing my makeup though. So normally I just put my foundation, and then I put my setting powder or concealer first, and then my setting powder, and then my bronzer, and then my blush, and then a bit of eyeshadow, and then I'm done. And oh yeah, of course I need to have a lip gloss or probably a lipstick, depending actually on the occasion. If it's just on regular makeup, everyday makeup, I just go for a lip gloss. But let's start. So first and foremost, I usually blend like a Dior and a Fenty, but since it's just a normal makeup for the day, I will just go for my Lacoste. I'm an addict to Lacoste foundation. I have over 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 of this, and yeah, it's insane. However, that's not the point of this video. So now I'm just going to tell you a bit of myself, and just along the way I will just tell you what I usually go for. So my full name, because I don't know, people mix up my names. I go by the name of Olivia Chiomabanks, and yeah, Chioma is a native Nigerian name, if you don't know, from the eastern part. So first I'm putting on my bronzer. I love putting my bronzer first before my foundation. So instead of me putting like your regular primer, I always go for my bronzer. And then I'm going to use my Lacoste. I still use the same brush that I use for my bronzer, and I use a shade 11, and during the summer I use a shade 12, I think, of the Lacoste. Yeah, so this is the summer shade, but it's not yet summer yet. So, and then this is the winter shade. So of course I was talking about my name. So my parents gave me those names, and it's very common that in a Nigerian household you must have a native name, regardless of having like multiple names or English names, they must definitely give you an Igbo name or a Yoruba name or an Hausa name, so people will know where you come from. So that's the thing. Actually, it's not something a Nigerian parent will ever miss, and I don't think I will ever miss that, because if I'm to have my kids, I will definitely give them some Nigerian, most especially an Igbo name. And yeah, and also here I have a sibling. I have an elder brother who is very dear to my heart, and he's my elder brother, like I mentioned, and we're very close, super close. And people think maybe I'm the only kid. No, I have an elder brother. We're super close. One thing about me is that I'm very secretive in terms of my family members, my friends. I don't really show off when it comes to my friends and family members, because I'm super protective of them. So it's not a matter of being secretive. I'm super protective of my friends and my family members. And being that I'm in the platform of social media, it is very crucial that I actually protect my loved ones, because people are crazy, you know. You can't really trust people. So yeah, I moved back a year ago to my hometown called Gothenburg. I grew up here actually, and then I moved up north. The first northern city I moved to was actually the mid city, which is called Östersund. I lived there for a couple of months before I moved middle north again, or east north, yeah, because girl, it was super cold there, literally. Okay, yeah, I was using a Too Faced. I always use a Too Faced concealer. Not every, this is one thing I'm going to say, I don't use concealers every time. It's very rare you see me use concealers. I don't know, I tend to like minimize my use of makeup, so I just keep it very simple. Back at the days when I was probably in high school, I loved having makeup, but now and I wasn't allowed to have like makeup during my junior high. My dad would kill me if I had makeup. So the only makeup that was permitted was actually lashes, mascara, and you know, the false lashes, the short version. That was what I was permitted to use, and nothing else. And also like a little bit of an eyeshadow, but it shouldn't be poppy. It shouldn't be like this Nigerian antique colors, if you know what I mean, like green, purple and stuff. It was always a neutral, so I was permitted to have like neutral colors, and that's it. So back to the story. I have one brother. I grew up here in Gothenburg. I grew up with my brother also, and then my dad. So I actually come from a divorced family, if I'm to say. So I grew up with my mom, and my parents got divorced when I was like a baby, probably 2 or almost 2. And yeah, so I'm in my 20s, about to say goodbye to it. So I grew up with my mom, including my brother. We had an amazing, tough at the time life. We growing up, it wasn't easy, like growing up in a single mom house, and also with a divorced parents. Trust me, you don't want that. And that's why I'm very adamant to, like, you know, when it comes to marriages and stuff, like I really need to know that you are so serious about it, because I don't want my kids to grow up in the kind of situation I grew up in. And then okay, now I'm going to put my powder on. And also, so growing up with my mom was really fun. She did her very best. I love my mom to death, and Kennedy, you know, back and forth. I'm super close to my mom. I was once a dad girl. Like literally, I was my dad's favorite growing up. Probably the same, yeah, but I truly loved my dad. And my brother was actually mom's boy, and he's still like a mom's boy actually. Literally, he's still my mom's favorite, even though I'm also my mom's favorite. But my brother has a special place in my mom's heart. Like, my mom loves him, and I'm okay with that because we have the same mom. Okay, so now I'm going to contour my face. I had a bronzer, but now I'm going to contour my face, and I'm not going to use like a liquid foundation. I'm going to use like a powdery contouring powder. Oh my god, I almost used the wrong brush. Thank god I looked at it. So yeah, so growing up with my mom was really fun. We had all the best we could from her. We had nannies and stuff, and yeah, it was fun having nannies, but wasn't really that fun sometimes. But I do appreciate the help they were able to assist my mom with, because my mom was a working mom. And then I came to live with my dad and my stepmom, me and my brother actually. And then yeah, lived with my dad and my stepmom. I don't have a really close relationship with my stepmom, and it has always been like that, and I respect that and I appreciate that actually. So, but we moved, and yeah, so I moved to the first northern city, which I mentioned was Östersund, and then afterwards I moved to Karlstad, which I also gained my bachelor's degree. And the funniest thing was that my bachelor's was done in Karlstad, and then my master's was done in Östersund. So from this city to Karlstad and then backwards to the same city, it was insane. And I'm thinking of going for another master's. I don't know, but it's not going to be in political science, because if you don't know, I actually studied political science, and most people don't know this, that I'm actually very smart. I probably may talk a bit with people who know me. You may probably consider me as a very cold-hearted person or talkative. It depends, and it's actually all about the vibes that you give me that will actually resonate with my own perspective of you and how I can open up. But like, my therapist has been saying that I really need to like learn how to trust people, maybe because of my past trauma, and that's why I relent on not trusting people. But I've gotten to understand that they're actually very nice people too, so that's why. And yeah, so if I'm going to study for another master's, I probably will go within business or something, or coding, I don't know. But for the meantime, I think it's definitely going to be business or probably project management. But I've also studied like independent courses within project management. And yeah, so like I was saying, I'm a geek, which people don't know about this, but if you went to the same course or program as me, you definitely know that I have amazing grades. The only course that gave me a very tough time doing my bachelor's was actually the Swedish law. It was so complicated, especially the EU law was, oh lord, it could get you to tears actually. Okay, now I'm doing my blush, and I usually use a red or pink lipstick, and I don't use it again, so I'm actually using this. So yeah, so the Swedish law gave me a tough time, but most especially EU law. But we passed it, baby. We passed it. It was actually a whole term, and that course was like, why on earth? But my favorite studying actually should be political science itself, when it comes to international relations, and also yeah, working on cases. So naturally, I'm a critical thinker and I'm a good analyst, so it was very easy for me to study that. And yeah, my teachers love the way I do analyze. And also so I'm putting on a little bit of a bronzer too. And also what more, I studied, yeah, project management courses, but also I studied tourism. That was actually one of the first programs I went into before I changed, because I felt like I knew everything within tourism. Even though I love traveling, I was like, oh, maybe tourism would be something very good for me. But baby, it wasn't for me. I was like, oh hell no, like literally it felt like high school or something. So I changed, and that was why I changed to political science. So I did my political science. My major was mostly political science, and then my minor was economics and Swedish law, including the EU law. And then when I did my master's, it was actually mostly organizational structure, institutions and stuff. That was what I went for, and a bit of an international relations too in my master's. And trust me, master's wasn't easy in political science. Like, even though you're good, the master's level would test you, and that's why it's called master's. But I'm a geek here, and I didn't expect it. Like, literally, have you seen that meme of that guy? That was me. Because when I started the first week, I was like, oh my god, what did I sign myself into? I was like, Jesus. Literally, that was me. I was like, Jesus. The first week was something I was like, it felt like I was dreaming about it the first few days. Okay, now I'm fixing my brow. And yeah, it wasn't easy, but your girl here is very smart. I have B's throughout in my master's. So my master's, I never got a C, I never got a D, I never got anything. So I only got B's and just one A in my master's. And you know what it means to get a B in courses in master's? If you get that, thank you Lord. But in my bachelor's, I actually had like, we didn't have like the grading system of A to F. We had like VG, G, and yeah, no MVG, and then U. So that's the VG, which is the VG, stands for very good, and then the G stands for good, and then the U stands for understand, and that's like F. And yeah, so during my bachelor's, I actually had majority was VG, G, VG, G, VG, and then my bachelor's thesis, I got a VG, and then my method course was also a VG on everything, on statistics. I'm a geek when it comes to statistics, literally. And my teachers were like, yeah, they still talk about me. I have a contact with one of my teachers, or one of my professors. It's like, oh, have you checked the statistic of your thesis, blah blah, we use it as an example. And yeah, I'm proud of that. And yeah, so probably in 5 years time, I don't know, I probably may go back to doing a PhD or something, because I love reading, but sometimes it can be so strenuous. I think I've noticed something: when I am not under pressure, I love reading, but when it comes to being under pressure, like from the academia, I'm like, oh Lord, why? I don't want to read this, but I have to. And it really tried me during my master's, because at the time I studied political science was insane. We were forced to like read 2-3 books a week, and I thought it was a joke. Probably it's just a couple of chapters and stuff. Oh hell no, it was the entire book. But thankfully I learned this technique from one of my what do you call this word in English? My supervisor during my thesis. She was one of my supervisors. She's an amazing professor. She was actually a professor in Ireland, Dublin University, for years, and then she went to London School of Economics, and then went back to Ireland, and then came back to Sweden. She's actually a Swedish, but yeah, she moved abroad when she did her master's and then PhD and so on. She's well respected in my university, and I was so opportune to have her as my supervisor. And she only wanted a student to supervise. Normally during my bachelor's, every professor or teacher was must have at least 4 students to actually supervise, but she only chose one, and that was me. You know how happy I was? But you know, you have to be super smart for you to have more than. And yeah, so she had me. She was amazing, because with her, when it came to my seminar, my seminar, the day I had to like, yeah, defend my thesis. Lord, it was super intense and I passed, and all thanks to her. Like literally, she prepared me for everything. And I had my examinator who came from the Copenhagen University. Like, I will never forget that day. Literally, I was about to cry defending that because I was going back and forth, but I didn't know she was testing me like my examinator. She was like, well, you really know what you did. She was like, most people at this level don't write thesis like this, but you really showed you can, and you executed and you exceeded the expectations. That's why I had these tough questions to you. And in my mind, I was like, you know, the word that wants to come out from my mouth, the B word wanted to come out from my mouth. But I was like, why do you have to stress me like this? But I was happy because at the end of my seminar, I actually passed. She graded me with VG. So I was so happy. I was like, thank you, Lord. So I just did a little bit of some correction she wanted me to do, and I submitted it that same evening, and I got my grade the following morning. Registered, and I was so happy, literally. And that was how I ended my bachelor's, like literally. And the funny thing was that during my seminar, not everyone passed. Everyone had to like wait till like the following month. But I was graded that day. I was like, thank you, Jesus. Because I don't know how I'm gonna tell my Nigerian parents that, oh yeah, I have to wait 1 more month to like do some corrections on my thesis. They will kill me, you know. Nigerian parents and education, they don't joke. And when I was growing up, I actually wanted to be a lawyer or a pilot. But being a pilot was quite scary because I was just in crashes and stuff. So I was like, you know, with all this plane crash, it's not for me. So I was very adamant afterwards on being like a pilot. And then I wanted to be a lawyer. And I don't know what happened. Fashion has always been in between, and I wanted to study fashion. If you don't know this, like probably if you went to the same junior high, you know this. I'm very good in like sewing, designing, and yeah, I thought I was going to like a fashion junior high school or high school, and then from there university, study fashion. But my dad literally threatened me. He was like, if you dare, he was like, if you dare study fashion, your future will be useless. It will be rubbish. If you know Nigerian dad, then you know. And that fear got in me, and I had to change. And I still have the letter somewhere when I got admitted into the fashion school. And yeah, so afterwards I changed to another program which is almost the same, like a political science. It's called Economie Inrichting Juridiek, which is economics with a major of law. That was why I studied in high school, and then I ended up in tourism. But then I changed because, like I said, it wasn't something I really wanted. It's just so boring. So I went to political science. And knowing that during high school, my teacher, actually, we had this project, individual project, where we should do research on countries and their democracy and stuff. And I picked up the US, and I dissect everything. And yeah, it was so funny that even in high school, at that time, Trump wasn't in power, but I had a prognosis that someone like Trump was going to win the presidential election. And I was shocked when years later Trump became a president. I'm like, whoop. So after that project, my teacher, actually, when he was doing like the grade talk, individual grade talk on it, because our final grade was relying on this project throughout the social studies. And then it was now my turn to speak with my teacher, and he was like, wow, I'm super amazed that you wrote this at this age. I've never seen someone who can actually go that deep and do this research. I highly recommend you to actually go for law or political science because you'll make waves. So when I was about to change from tourism to political science, I remembered what my teacher Robin told me. I was like, you know what, I'll go for that because I actually love it. It's something that doesn't feel enforced, but it just flows through me. And yeah, so that was how I ended up in political science. And apart from that, I've also been playing football. I played football from the age of 7, but didn't take it really seriously, and then I took it seriously again when I was 12. I played, was it 12 or 11? 11 actually. And then I played football until the year I was going to turn 16, and I stopped. And it's so funny that 2 days ago I was actually looking at my old mails, trying to like just get rid of old mails, and I found one of the emails my coach actually sent to me and also redirected to my dad. When that was the final stage of me missing the classes or the training, it was like, oh, because I actually claimed I was sick, but I wasn't really sick. I was just tired because I started working out at the gym, and I got super interested in working out at the gym. And yeah, so I got the email, and my coach was like, I hope you're getting well and you can join us in the camp because we really need you. And yeah, because I was a striker when I played football. I'm really good in playing football. And apart from that, I also started, like I said, I did workout, and I still work out. I do mostly strength training. I started first with like doing CrossFit, and then I did bodybuilding, a combination of both. And that's where my heart relies on. Like literally, I love, wait, let me see the time. Okay, yeah, there's still enough time. So I do love a lot of strength workout, and it's something that is so dear to my heart, and I find it very therapeutic for me. Whenever I'm at the gym, I find it as like my second sanctuary or my third sanctuary, because my house is my sanctuary, and then the church is my sanctuary, and then also the gym should be my third sanctuary. So apart from that, that's about me. And then I moved back, like I said, to my home city a year ago because I stayed in Costa where I studied, and then I had a relationship there for like 4 years. Even moving back, we did a distance relationship, and I actually broke off the relationship because I felt like I was giving so much. It became more sacrificial for me in the relationship, and I wasn't satisfied with what I went into. So it actually was, like I say, it was very sacrificial in terms of my mental health, and I forgive him for everything he did. Literally, I forgive him, but it's something I can't really forget. And even though I'm actually in a good terms with him, like he does, this is something very funny about me. I actually have a very good relationship with all my exes. They do call me for advice, which is insane. I'm like, come on. So I actually do have contact with them, but on a very mutual ground. And when it comes to my current ex, yeah, I actually forgive him for what he did, and I can't blame everything on him. I actually would say I can blame myself to a certain point because I ignored all the red flags and let it be. I could have left, but I did love him, and there's nothing I could do about it. So I think that's when you say you blindly in love. So I tried my best, but we move. I forgive him. So after that, after moving, I actually, yeah, moved close to my family. It was really fun. And then I actually lost 2 friends, or 2 best friends of mine, because one felt like, it's so weird because I noticed there was something my therapist told me. If you cease contact with someone and they don't reciprocate that, or try to contact you or wonder why it has been that way, then it's not a true friendship. It's not a truthful one. And that was something I noticed with the first one. And she has been like one of my best friends from childhood, and it was so sad because I did all my best. Like, yeah, even when she was in abroad for a year, I actually made contact with her, but she felt reluctant to like reciprocate the same thing. And the sad part was that I tried all I could, and I don't know, and I felt like, you know what, I'm done. I'm not a kid anymore. If you can really appreciate the effort of me trying to contact you to know how you're doing, and you don't do the same thing, then I think it's high time you go your way, I go my way, and no hard feelings. And then the second best friend of mine, we got to know each other when I was living up north. And yeah, it was so crazy. When I moved here to my apartment, she actually came to visit me, but her attitude was so crazy. Like, literally, I've never felt any way towards someone like the way I felt that day. She stayed over at my place. Okay, now I'm done like doing my makeup, but I can put my makeup takes me about 20 minutes. So she came over to my place. She was going to stay over, and this was during the time I was writing my thesis, my master's thesis. And yeah, I told her that I won't have enough time because I'm actually writing my master's thesis. She was like, oh, no worries, no problem, I'll find things to do. I was like, are you okay with that? Like, I don't want you to feel alone, but I'm always at home, you know. And she was like, no worries. But we went out. I took her to like a restaurant. We ate sushi, and she's vegan actually. And when we were eating, she actually ate fish. I was like, come on, aren't you vegan? Because in my house you got some vegan stuff. She's like, yeah, but sometimes when it comes to sushi, she wants to have the taste of fish. I was like, okay, I'm not judging. And then afterwards, she came home to my place and she had the bed fixed. I actually fixed the bed for her. And at night, before, this was around 8 p.m, we have to go to bed because she doesn't want to be disturbed. I was like, okay. I couldn't watch TV because one time I tried watching the TV and she was like, can you reduce the volume? I was like, sure. I watched TV and this was like 8:30. She was like, oh, when will you go to bed? I was like, come on, this is my apartment, for Christ's sake. And yeah, she was busting me in my apartment. I turned on my TV, trying to be a good host, came into my room here, and then I called my boyfriend at the time, that's my ex, and then I was talking to him, and then the next thing she came into my room, oh, please, can you stop talking? Oh, can you make the call tomorrow? Because I'm trying to sleep. And trust me, it wasn't up to like 9, and she wanted me to like shut down the call, which I did. I ended the conversation, and then afterwards she told me, oh yeah, I had the lamp on. She was like, can you turn up the lamp, blah blah. She wants to read. I was like, but the door is closed. She was like, yeah, but it's still noisy. Then I was going through my TikTok. She was like, can you stop using your phone because it's too loud? I was like, I reduced the volume. She was like, yeah, it's still disturbing. I was like, sure. And I stopped. I was like, you know what, the next day I told her, I think it's high time you have to leave because I'm going to our summer house. And she was like, can't you leave the key for me? I was like, no, sorry, I can. And the worst part was that she wanted to bring a guy she matched on Tinder to my apartment. Like, literally, imagine if he's a murderer. You're bringing someone that I don't know, that you don't know, you've never seen him before, and you want to bring him to my apartment. I was like, no. And I think that was where the anger started for her towards me. And so I had to like send her home, and she left. And yeah, we stopped the contact from there, and she blocked me. I removed her on my every other social, and I blocked her too on the socials where she forgot to block me. So that was it. And it's crazy. But however, I've learned not everyone can be really truthful, and not everyone should be trusted. But I do have like very few friends I really appreciate. I've had them for ages and they're still the same, even though some of them now have moved around. They are not living currently in the same city as I do, but we still keep contact, and I appreciate them for being in my life, and they appreciate me for being in their life too, because I'm this person. I'm very direct. I say things, and maybe sometimes I may feel like it can sound very harsh, but I'm not the person to hide things. So I'm going to use my Fix It or Fix and Go from MAC. Oh my god, I was spraying this side. So that's it. And yeah, so now I'm heading out because I need to go try on a trouser that I bought. It was quite tight, so I'm going to see if they have like a size upper, because I saw the reviews. It actually runs down in a very small size. I took an S, so normally I'm supposed to have an S, so I'm going to try a medium. So most of the reviews, most of the ladies who bought this pants said they actually went 2 sizes up, so I probably would do that. But however, guys, I think that's all about me. I don't know if you want to know more. I have to go. Yeah, and see you. Bye. Okay, I forgot one more thing, and it is actually more about myself, and in terms of like self-development, how I've got into this level. And the only way I've actually got into this level was actually meditating, praying, going to church, meeting my therapist, and just navigating life myself, most especially, and trying to like understand and adapt to the ambience that I actually want to create, and not seeking what others think of the environment. And that's something that, oh, I even forgot my mascara, oh my lord. And that's something that has actually motivated me, and also respecting people. I have so many mascaras, but I have a favorite of mine. Not this. Yeah, it's here. And my actual favorite is this one. I can't remember where I got it from, but it's very easy to apply. And yeah, so, and the only thing that's gotten my spirituality higher than before or ever, I would say, is being celibate. So after breaking up with my ex, I've been celibate for a year, and it is very eye-opening in terms of like wanting to seek the right partner, because it made me like understand more what I want as a person, as an individual, and what I'm seeking from another partner. And it was very easy for me to see people, like literally I got to see people more in depthly, and it's really helpful. But most especially, being celibate has actually helped me spiritually, because I can, even though I don't like saying this out, but if you've been close, my ex knows this, or my exes know this about me, and my mom, even my brother, I do see things, and it does happen. I get to see things before they occur in my dreams, and yeah, I can feel presence of certain things, and it's very powerful, but sometimes it can be very scary. But I got more clearance about it since I became celibate, and I actually really recommend it. Like, it shouldn't be like, oh yeah, because of religious purposes. However, you should try to be celibate for a couple of times. I actually tried being celibate during my relationship with my ex, which even gave me more clarity. And then yeah, went back again, went out of it and broke up, and then became celibate, and it's been amazing. Literally, like, I've been on dates and I could clearly see the difference. I'm like, oh no, red flag, red flag, red flag. But yeah, hopefully one day I will meet my right person, and no one is perfect, but I know one day we'll definitely meet my right person, and it's going to be amazing. Okay guys, I'm done talking, and now I'm going to say the final bye and see you in a bit. I hope you got to know about me, and yeah, comment what you want me to make in content, and yeah, let me know. And that's it. Okay, it's so weird to like end the video, but bye.